Hi, my friends. Today, I want to share a new story with you. I hope you enjoy it. I was 7 when I first noticed my parents were different from other parents. Other kids went to sleep with bedtime stories and hugs. I went to sleep with loud music shaking the house. It made my ribs hurt and my head pound. "Stay awake, Eric," my dad, Lincoln, would say, arms crossed at the door. "If you're tired, find a way to stay up. Life doesn't give breaks." I tried my best. But I was just a kid, and I needed sleep. My head would droop, and my eyes felt too heavy to hold open. Then came the punishment: cold water in my face or a sharp slap on my leg. The music got even louder. I'd wake up shivering, my body shaking from being so tired, my eyes full of dark spots. When I was 10, they taught me another lesson: going hungry. If you can't figure out how to eat, then you don't deserve food, my mom, Amara, said coldly, closing the fridge before I could grab anything. At first, I thought they were just testing me, that maybe they'd give me dinner eventually. They didn't. The first day, my stomach hurt from growling. The second day, I found old crackers in a neighbor's trash. The third day, I discovered a bakery that threw out leftover bread at night. That lesson stuck with me. Surviving means knowing where to look, not being proud. By the time I was 14, I thought I had learned all their lessons. But I wasn't ready for what came next. One afternoon, my dad's truck pulled into a dusty motel parking lot, a dirty place with a broken neon sign and old carpets that smelled like smoke. "This is where we say goodbye, Eric," Lincoln said, turning off the engine. My mom stared out the window, quiet, like she didn't care. I laughed nervously. "You're kidding, right?" My dad turned toward me, his face serious. "No joke." Fear rose in my chest. "You're leaving me here." "We've done enough," my mom said. "Now it's your turn to figure things out." I looked at them, my parents, the people who were supposed to protect me. I searched their eyes for any sign they cared. But they looked cold. Lincoln dropped a wrinkled $20 bill in my lap. "That'll cover one night," he said, opening his door. I panicked. "Wait. Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do?" "Figure it out," my mom said, finally looking at me. "That's the point." I grabbed the door, trying to stop them, but my dad caught my wrist tight. "No coming back," he said. "We're done." Then they drove off. I stood there, watching the truck vanish into the distance, my chest tight and breath short. I was alone, really alone. No one was coming to help. The motel lot smelled like gas and wet pavement. I stood still, the $20 bill clenched in my hand. My parents were gone. They left me like a lost dog. The motel's broken sign buzzed above me. I walked inside, my shoes sticking to the dirty floor. The man at the front desk didn't even look up from his paper. "Rooms are $20 a night," he muttered. I paused, holding the money tighter. If I used it now, what would I do tomorrow? "Do you have a phone?" My voice broke. The man pointed toward a payphone in the corner. My hands were shaking as I dialed the only number I could remember: my Aunt Kimberly. I hadn't seen her in years. She and my mom had stopped talking long ago. But I still remembered her once hugging me and whispering, "If you ever need me, call." The phone rang twice before a sleepy voice answered. "Hello?" "Aunt Kimberly," I said, barely able to speak. "It's Eric." There was a pause, then a loud breath. "Eric? What's going on?" "They left me," I said, my voice shaking. "Mom and Dad. They dropped me off at a motel on Highway 16. She swore loudly. "Stay there. I'm on my way." Then the line went dead. I sank into the plastic chair near the phone, my body shaking from being tired and hungry. Every minute felt like forever. Then I heard tires screech outside. The motel door flew open, and there she was, Aunt Kimberly. Her hair was messy, her eyes full of anger. She rushed over, held my face in her hands. "Are you hurt?" I shook my head, and the tears finally came. She hugged me tight, whispering, "Those awful people." I grabbed my backpack with a few clothes, and we headed to her car. As we drove, she kept muttering angrily. "I always knew they were heartless, but this is beyond cruel." She glanced at me. "You're never going back to them. Ever. Got it?" I nodded. My throat was too tight to speak. For the first time in my life, someone was on my side. By the next morning, Aunt Kimberly had already started the legal process to get me out of their control. My parents reported me missing, but she was ready. "Let them try to take you back. she said as we walked out of the courthouse. They'll have to get through me first. She helped me finish school, go to college, and build a life far from the people who abandoned me. I became someone strong, someone they never expected, and I never looked back. Until 25 years later, when they showed up at my door. I hardly knew who they were at first. Lincoln and Amara stood in the office lobby, trying to smile. They looked older now. Dad's hair was graying, and Mom's proud walk had turned into a slight hunch. But their eyes, they still had that same cold look. Eric, my mother's voice was sickly sweet. It's been so long. I leaned against my desk, arms crossed. Not long enough. My father's smile slipped, but he forced it back. We need your help. I said nothing. Let them squirm. We're having money problems, my mother said, pressing her hand to her chest like it hurt. The bank is taking our house. We could lose everything. I laughed, cold and bitter. Everything? You mean the house you dumped me from? The one you left me to rot outside of? Eric, my father snapped. You wouldn't be who you are without us. We taught you strength. Your success. You owe us. I stepped away from the desk, lowering my voice. You didn't raise me. You abandoned me in a motel and never looked back. And now, after 25 years, you show up and ask for money. My mother's smile faded. We're still your parents. No, I said. You're strangers. My father's mask dropped. You selfish little. I pulled out my phone. Say one more word and I'll have security throw you out. My mother tried a softer voice. Please, Eric. We have nowhere else. I stared at them, then slowly reached for my checkbook. Their eyes lit up as I tore out a slip. Then I ripped it in two. Here's what you get. The pieces fluttered to the floor. Their gasps filled the room. I hit the intercom. Security. Escort these people out. The doors closed behind them. They had come for a handout and left with nothing. And soon they'd lose even more. I sat down and opened the legal files on my screen. It was done. I bought their house, the same one where I starved, cried myself to sleep, and learned that love came with conditions. It was mine now, and I wasn't saving it. This wasn't revenge for money, it was justice. I had collected everything, documents, recordings, witness statements, all showing what they did, how they left me, how they treated me like trash. Even the words they said to me today, I wrote it all down. Then I sent it to every relative who ever called me dramatic, everyone who turned their back. Subject: the truth about Lincoln and Amara. The responses came fast: shock, anger, disbelief. No one stood with them anymore. Then the story hit the internet. A big celebrity blogger picked it up. Self-made CEO exposes abusive parents and buys their house to tear it down. News crews showed up. The demolition was going to be public. The office door slammed open. Lincoln and Amara stood there, furious. You planned this, my father yelled. You set us up. I stared him down. No, you did when you left me in that motel. That was the beginning of your ending. My mother's voice shook. We made mistakes, but this, destroying our home on camera. I turned my monitor toward them. The live stream played. Crowds stood around the house. Cameras zoomed in on the wrecking ball, ready to strike. Panic filled their faces. Stop it, my mother cried. Please stop. I didn't move. You had a chance to make things right. You came here to take, not to apologize. I pressed a key. Engines roared. Lincoln turned away from the screen, gasping. You're heartless. I met his eyes. No, I learned from the best. The speakers echoed with a crash as the wrecking ball hit. The house fell, piece by piece. Everyone saw it. And I walked away. Let them live with what they built. Nothing. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and click the notification bell to stay updated with more real-life stories.